Hey there, retro gamers. David here with Game Overcast. We are back. I know it's been a long time since we've been on the air. It's been about 2 years. So let's think. What's been going on the past couple years? Oh yeah. So we had this COVID thing happen, and so that's still going on. But it took a lot of time away from other things, including the show. We've had staffing issues since then. We had to focus all of our time and energy on keeping the company going, and so this was kind of a side project, so it wasn't really something we could keep going during the past year or two. But I'm really excited to bring it back. And so let me tell you a little bit about Game Overcast. So first of all, who am I? My name's David Kaelin. I am the owner of Game Over Videogames. I started this company back in 2005. And, through that time, we've grown and expanded to multiple stores, multiple states, and most of my time is spent now running that business. And then on the side of that, I also run Classic Game Fest, the summer convention in Austin. It's the biggest retro gaming convention in Texas. And so, that's pretty much all of my time. But the original people that were running this show, Matt and Britt are fantastic. They're unfortunately no longer with us. And also Dan back in the day, who started the podcast when Game Overcast originally started, is actually back now. And so he is behind the camera, and he'll be joining me for some of the segments on the show too. So you will get to see him again, and hopefully we'll get Matt and Britt back and some other people on as guests down the road. So why the new format? So I wanted to actually, take more of an active voice in promoting Game Over. And so, the best way to do that was for me to get on the show. I'm not crazy about being on the show, honestly. I don't think I'm, necessarily a great spokesman for Game Over, but I do the best I can. And, I wanted to refocus the show more on retro gaming specifically, Game Over video games, and essentially what it's like to be me, what it's like to run a small business and a small, retro gaming chain that Game Over is, and its ups and downs on a daily basis, and just share that with all of you. So essentially, what we're going to do in this podcast, we'll be talking about current news, events in retro gaming. Always keep it focused on the gaming aspect, and then bring it back to Game Over happenings, our sales, events. Promotions, things going on like Classic Game Fest that we want to help inform everyone about, so we're gonna spread that information, and we'll do different segments on the show each week. Sometimes interviews, sometimes background history on Game Over. Sometimes we'll maybe focus on a certain game or a certain subject within gaming. But today it's mostly just kind of an overview show, just explaining, where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go in the future with this show. Let's see. Sorry, I have to check my notes a lot because I'm new at this. But yeah, that's actually pretty much as far as introduction. We have the show broken into different segments, and so now we're going to go to level 1, which is current events. All right, so now we're back with level 1. This is the current events segment of the show. So we're going to talk about what's going on in gaming, in the national scene, local scene, in the retro industry. A lot of stuff's happened in the past few years. So normally this will be more of a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and there won't be quite as much to cover. But in general, I'll sum up the past couple of years as COVID, $1 million sealed games being sold, and everybody being out of work, out of school, back. Now we're back in business. And, this year, everybody's trying to recover from that, including us. So the more recent current events, the Mario Brothers movie. So everybody's talking about this online right now, so I wanted to put my take in there. I'm somebody that was out when the original Super Mario Brothers movie came out, went to see it in the theater. Yeah. It is what it is, but, we've had a long history of bad video game movies, which seems to be maybe changing. And so I look at the Mario Brothers movie news as a positive thing. I know there's a lot of backlash about, Chris Pratt and, just the cast in general, not being maybe what gamers expected. But I'm here to say that, having A-list Hollywood celebrities in a project gives it a much better chance of success than being beholden to a certain type of image that somebody's expecting maybe for a movie. The recent Mortal Kombat movie did really well. That kind of put video game based movies back on the map, I think, in a lot of ways. And so, hopefully the Mario Brothers movie will do that too. I really think it's going to surprise some people. So I think there's plenty of hate on that out on the web. If you want to see or hear it, you can. But I'm going to put a positive spin on it. I think it's good. I think, the cast individually, those people are all fantastic. They're A-list celebrities. They're going to bring their A game to this movie. So you're going to see, I think, an amazing story. I think the animation will be great. I actually like that they're doing animation instead of, real actors in the movie itself, because that'll give them a lot of freedom to really create an amazing Mario world that'll be more like the games than ever before. So I'm excited. I think everybody's going to be great in that. So I think we should all look forward to it, and definitely, come out and support it, next year when it comes out, because this chain of newer, better video game based movies that has been starting to come out now, they are getting better. And, just like anything else, if you don't support them, they go away. So if you want them to stay and you want them to get better, we have to go out and support these things. So let's try and give them a break and just keep our fingers crossed that they'll do right by Mario. Also, as a funny side note, it seems that the original Super Mario Brothers movie has now shot up the bestseller charts of Amazon. So that's fun. People will enjoy watching that in the meantime while they're waiting for the new one. And in other video game news, I also read that Anthony Mackie is going to be starring in a new Twisted Metal series. That's one of my favorite retro games, Twisted Metal. I would play that so much back in the day. That was probably the number one played game on my PS1 back in the 90s, Twisted Metal. And so, it'll be interesting to see how they work that as a series. Obviously the best part of that game is just the destruction of the cars. And so it seems like that wouldn't have enough, material to make a show out of. But, they're going to have, a whole series. And so there's going to be a storyline, and there's going to be, just the fact that, again, they've got an A-list celebrity attached to it, that hopefully there's going to be enough money and enough, creative and story writing, power brought to it that it's going to be an engaging show to watch. I also saw just this morning the picture of Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, as the new lead in the Last of Us show that HBO has coming out. So that seems really cool too. I'm actually really excited about that one. I know it's not quite as retro, but there's a lot going on right now with video game movies, and so we should all be excited about that as the video game community. And then as far as a retro based current event. We have a game release for Metroid Droid coming out October 8th. And that seems to be the closest thing to an old school kind of Metroid game. It's going to have at least, partially side-scrolling elements in there. And I don't know about you, but I love the old Metroid games. I could never get into the first-person style Metroid games. And so every time they put a side-scroller out, whether it's like Fusion on the GBA, or hopefully this Dread will be, a enjoyable experience for somebody like me that's more of a retro Metroid fan. So I'm excited about that one coming out. And then typically on this point in the show too, we'll talk about other products in the retro industry. Some of our brands that we carry at the Game Over stores, like Hyperkin and all the different third-party brands, Nyko, Hori, different accessories for retro games. We'll try and highlight some of those in this part of the show. I don't have any this week, but that's kind of what we'll do in this segment of the show. And that brings us to a close on current events. So now we're going on to level 2. Hi, and welcome back to level 2 in the show. Now here we're going to talk about the company events, different things going on with Game Over specifically. So first of all, I want to talk about a sale we have coming up Friday, October 1st. I don't even know what the hell day it is sometimes. But October 1st through October 7th, we're doing a sale on DDR games, driving wheels, Wii Fit, all the games and accessories. So basically things that make you move. the games and accessories are on sale. So those are all discounted in our stores starting Friday. And also on the website, gameovervideogames.com, there's a 10% off everything going on right now. The coupon code is FALL10, FALL10. Put that in, and between now and October 7th, you get 10% off anything you buy online. So definitely check out our website. A lot of people don't know that we even have a website or have sales possible on the website, but we do. And there's actually quite a bit of stuff on there. Sometimes if you don't find what you're looking for at a local Game Over store, or in one of the other stores in that same area, definitely check out our website, because we have a really wide variety. I think it's over 14,000 items in there now, but constantly growing. We're adding to it all the time. So a lot of unique things, rare games, and constantly adding to it. So definitely check that out. Tournaments. Also, we do tournaments every month at our stores. I don't know if you were aware of that, but normally it's the second Saturday of every month at certain stores. And so that second Saturday in October is going to be on the 9th. So that's coming up. The tournament stores locations are the one we have in Bellevue, Washington, the one in Northwest Houston on 1960, the one in South Austin on South Lamar Boulevard, the one in Arlington, Texas, and the one in Selma, Texas, just on the north side of San Antonio. So those 5 stores are all doing tournaments on Saturday, October 9th. So definitely check those out, and you can check those store Facebook pages for details on the game and the start times and signups and all that. All of the tournaments we do at Game Over stores, they're always free to enter, and we give gift card prizes to the winners. So there's nothing to lose. You're not at anything except your time coming to play a game with us for an hour in the store. So, little to lose, everything to gain, lots of fun. You can meet other people in the community. So we definitely recommend you come check those out on a monthly basis at our Game Over stores. Trade-in bounty. We also do trade-in bounties every month. Probably if you're watching this podcast, you know that we buy and sell games. That's where they come from, is you, the public, bringing them in to sell them to us. And we often have bounties where we pay extra for certain items. So this month, our in-demand console is Nintendo 64s. So right now we're paying $80 for black ones, $150 for colored ones. So if that's a complete system with the matching controller, and it's obviously in good working order, that's the payout for those right now. That actually ends this week, so you got to hurry in to get that. That ends at the end of this week. Also, quick shout out to our Houston stores. The Game Over stores in Houston, Texas have been voted the best place to buy video games in Houston by the Houston Press. So thank you to our friends at the Houston Press, and thank you to all of our fans and supporters in the Houston area. It's been great to be in that market. We've probably had stores in Houston for 12 years now. One of the first retro stores to even open in the Houston area. And the stores are fantastic. Our staff is amazing. And so if you haven't checked out our stores in Houston, please check them out. The now award-winning Game Over staff in Houston, Texas. So shout out to those guys. Y'all are awesome. Upcoming events. We'll talk about different conventions and retro gaming events coming up in the near future. But right now with this year being so strange, there's not really nearly as many events as there used to be, and a lot of them are kind of up and down in terms of attendance. Some of them have done really well, like CGF in July was fantastic, huge crowds. But our Game Over crew has attended some other events that haven't been as big, so it's kind of a mixed bag. Definitely be safe and follow the safety protocols. You have to wear a mask to a lot of them, but that should be picking up next year. So we'll talk about those from time to time, but there's just not as much news on that front right now. New products in the stores. So this is a segment I want to do. It may not be every time we do a podcast, but we're going to try and work this in a lot to show you new stuff coming into Game Over stores, because obviously we get games. We buy and sell games daily, hourly. Sometimes, by the minute, get new games in our stores all the time. But we also buy and sell, mostly sell, a lot of cool Game Over or video game related merch. And so I'm going to reach into my special drawer in the desk here and see what we have to show you this time. So some of the new stuff in our stores right now, we're getting ready for winter. I know in Texas here it's still like 90 degrees, but for most of you, it's probably winter or getting close, fall-ish. So we're getting into blanket season. So we've got some cool video game blankets. So we got Xbox theme, PlayStation theme, Mario Brothers theme, all kinds of cool stuff. I think they're $25 each. We've got them on our website, so you can buy them from anywhere in the country, or in our local stores. You can check those out. Wash them up, get them on your couch, snuggle up, and get some retro gaming action in. Then also socks. You got to have socks. But if you're gonna have socks, why not have video game socks? That's what I would have. So these are like $11.99. We've got all kinds of different styles here: Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Sonic, Halo, Animal Crossing. Lots of cool socks. And we have more than this too. It's just you have to check your local stores to see specifically what they have available. But all those are also available on the website. So that's some of the newest, latest things that we've gotten into the stores. So definitely check those out the next time you are in the Game Over video game store near you. And also we'll do other highlights, in future episodes from the web store itself, and from some of our local stores too, because we get, as you might imagine, some insanely rare games from time to time, and so we're going to try and do a focus around at some of the stores as they get in some of the like multiple $100 type really rare games that come in. So we'll do that going forward. But that concludes level 2 for this episode. So now we are moving on to level 3. Hi, welcome back. Now at level 3 in the show, this is our feature component of the show. So from episode to episode, we're going to do special interviews, maybe focus on a certain subject, current event, game, title, game character, whatever like the main ultimate focus is, that week or that episode. So that'll be this section. For this show, though, just as the first show, it's more of kind of an overview show. So we don't have an interview or anything like that. The first one coming up, though, I'm going to have my good friend Dan Caparello, who's doing camera work for us, and was one of the original hosts of Game Overcast. He's going to be joining me again next time, and we're going to do an interview of me. And I'll probably slip in some questions about him, and we'll just talk. We'll have a great conversation about the early days of Game Over, and what it was like to be Game Over's first employee, which was Dan, surprisingly. So that's something a lot of people didn't know. The first person to get a paycheck at Game Over Video Games was not me. As a lot of small business owners, you kind of get screwed. You get paid last. I don't know if you know this about small business operations, but like, to make the business succeed and to make ends meet, you usually get paid last. And what that means in the beginning is a lot of times you don't get paid at all. And so it's kind of funny here that Dan was actually the first employee to technically get a Game Over paycheck. So on the next episode, Dan and I will be here talking about the early days of Game Over Video Games, and what it was like to get started. What got me into this mess of starting all this company, my personal background, and just anything else that comes up in the conversation, just so that all of you can get to know me a little better and get to know where this company came from, where this store that we hope all of you know and love, how it all started, because it is an interesting story, and I think it's something that you'll all be curious to learn about. And in general, just to give you like a spoiler alert on me, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, I'm a very imperfect person. I like to think that I'm very highly, organized and motivated, and I think I do a good job running the business. But this is all kind of new to me. So please be kind, be gentle in your feedback. I definitely want and need, constructive criticism, and, I'll be open to any suggestions or comments that you guys make. But just understand that as I'm doing this, I'm new to all this, and I have made some videos for Game Over in the past. Most of them have been pretty short. This is the first time I've really focused on doing a dedicated, longer duration, broadcast. And so, so I'm going to say a lot. I'm going to stop a lot. I'm going to, kind of doubt myself, at times. And so just please bear with me. I think that the show will be good. And I think it definitely will get better from episode to episode. So I hope you stay with us, and I hope you enjoy the journey with me. So this time that's going to be it for the feature section. But again, look forward to some really interesting episodes, just this segment of it alone, because we're going to try and get some really interesting people to talk to on the show. You're welcome to suggest, comment and post and email us. You can email at podcast@gameovervideogames.com and let us know, who you'd like to see in the feature segment. Who should we talk to? And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback, and we'll try and honor as many of those requests as we can to get people on the show. But yeah, that's it, and then that will take us to level 4. All right, welcome back. This is level 4. This is the boss battles. So this is where I'm going to try and give you some inside info, some behind the scenes news, tips, updates from in the trenches of being the CEO of a company. Especially running a small business in America today, there's a lot of challenges, ups and downs, and I'm going to try and share some of those with you, just to give you insight into the day-to-day experiences that we go through. So let's see. Coming up right now, just for example, like this week, it's end of the month, beginning of October. So bills are due. Just like in most of our personal lives, the first of the month means a lot of bills come due. So we got to pay that rent, pay utilities, pay everything. A lot of my job running the company is paying the bills. It's kind of like my job is spending money, which sounds really cool, but it's really not cool. It's hard to be the one responsible for paying all the bills. It's quite a challenge, and money never comes in at even levels on a daily basis, from the stores, and so having to always have those funds available to pay the bills on an even regular basis is always a challenge. And I'm sure many of you that have small businesses yourselves can relate to that. It's it can always be very challenging. Sometimes it's a time of feast where there's plenty to go around for all the bills, and sometimes times are kind of lean and you have to really make things work. But a lot of my job as an owner, it's multitasking. I wear multiple hats, do multiple things. I pay bills, I respond to emails. I do ordering for the stores of supplies and inventory, tax filings, web store orders, price changes, occasionally social media. I know I don't post that much, but I try. I'm trying to get out there more and do more social media. So, hopefully that will improve in the future. And then I visit stores. I like to be, my favorite thing to do is not to be back in my office stuck paying bills all day or responding to emails. It's to be out visiting stores. And so, you might see me from time to time in one of our Game Over stores. I go out there every month. I'll visit a few stores and check out merchandising, talk to the staff, do any training, or address any issues that have been going on. And so, that's probably my favorite part of the job, is the travel and interacting with our employees, and also interacting with customers. In the beginning, when it was just me running the company, I would get to talk to every customer face to face. And I do miss that. I think the face-to-face one-on-one interaction is my favorite. Talking to a camera is awkward, talking to a crowd is awkward, but one-on-one, I really enjoy that, especially when talking to that person, they're also, passionate about retro gaming. And so we can have great conversations. So I miss that, but yeah, travel, multitasks, it's just the life, of a small business owner. That's just the way it is. Hiring issues, constantly have hiring issues. We have amazing employees here at Game Over, but we're always adding more. In retail, people always kind of come and go. It's just the nature of the business. We're staffing up right now. There's a lot of our stores are actually looking for additional people. So if anybody is looking for, especially part-time work, we are hiring part-time staff at several of our stores right now. So if you're interested and a Game Over store is nearby, definitely go by there with a resume, showing your retail experience. You just have to be 18 years old and have retail experience and love video games, of course. But that's really it. And we'd love to have you come work with us. So just ask the store manager if they're hiring. You can also apply online. Go to our website, gameovervideogames.com. Scroll down to the very bottom, and there's a line that says careers, and click on that, and you can email in a resume and do it all online. Let's see. So that is that. Um, yeah, and like I said earlier, a lot of my job, it's very task oriented. I do the bills, the emails, stuff like that. Not very glamorous stuff. Even just loading and unloading trucks and boxes and the shipments that come in. Normally, I end up unloading, unpacking that, and sorting it for the stores. So we'll get like 20 boxes delivered here of stuffed Mario plushies, and I'll have to open them all up, sort them, count them out, divide it by stores, and get them on the way to the different locations. So it's tough, and it doesn't leave me a lot of time to actually play games anymore, personally. And that's sad, but I do hope that in future episodes we can even show some of me playing games. That's what I'd like to do, like a like a Let's Play kind of segment, and have some times where you can see me playing games, and it's something that I used to take for granted, I think, in life, that time, that free time to play games, and now, as an adult, and I'm sure a lot of you had the same struggle, like you have to kind of find time to play and for free time. It's not very easy to get. And I have a family now, and that's also, obviously something that, I spend a lot of time with, nights and weekends, and often video game playing is more of a solo activity. And so, it's tough to involve family in that, but anytime you can involve family in that, that's definitely the best, because then you get the interaction, the quality time, and get to play games. But let's see. Otherwise, along the same lines, boss battles, dealing with pressure. Always a lot of pressure. Doing this show is a lot of pressure. But just on a daily basis, whether it's dealing with the online social media type, trials and tribulations that we all know exist online. Paying the bills, getting the money coming in to pay those bills. There's a lot of pressure that goes with running a small business. And as I said, in the beginning, often owners like me don't get paid. During the rough times like last year with COVID, a lot of that last year, I went unpaid, just because it was so important for us to survive and not go out of business when we got shut down with everybody else last spring. All of our money got put into supporting the business, supporting our employees, getting it all back on track, and it's been a struggle to get it all back on track. But now, it's definitely more back to normal now, and so we're all thankful for that. But yeah, typically, I'll work 50, 60 hours a week. It's normally Monday through Friday, but I come in at 8. I'll stay till about 6 or so. Minimal breaks, as some of you might know who know me well. And so, yeah, I mean, it's plus the nights and weekends of events and travel and things like that. It's not uncommon for me to work over 60 hours a week. But I really love what I do. I really do. And so, the ability to do Game Over and keep doing it for almost 16 years now has been amazing for me. And, and it's not insanely financially rewarding, but it never was and never really was meant to be. I mean, doing a job like this, you do it because you love what you do. And I definitely do enjoy what I do. And, that is what makes it all worthwhile. You have to, at the end of the day, you can make a lot of money from a lot of jobs, but if you don't wake up wanting to go to work, that's what I do. I wake up and I can't wait to get here at 8 a.m. every day. The stores don't even open till 11, but I'm here at 8 because I get up and I want to come to work and keep this thing going. So that drives me, and I love what I do. So helpful tips. So I thought I'd throw out some like CEO, small business owner, tips from time to time. And so one that I just thought of for today's show was the air conditioning in stores. If you have a small business and you're not there all the time, I highly recommend you monitor your air conditioning setting, your thermostat, because you will find that if you don't, you will have some employee that likes to be really comfortable, and they will set the air on like 60, and then you will down the road get like a $1,000 electric bill. So watch that setting on the thermostat. That alone saves you a lot of money. And if you have multiple locations like I do, and a lot of them are in Texas like I do, where it gets really hot, your air conditioning costs in the summer can get crazy. So, often double what it normally is. And if it's, several $100s more per month, and then you per store, like I have 12 stores, that's an extra like $3,000 a month in the summertime. So anytime you can monitor that and keep it, like 75 or above in the stores, it actually saves a lot of money. So that's my pro tip for this week is watch your thermostat. And that brings us to the end of the Boss Battles Level 4. Okay, and we are back with the bonus level. So this is the fun part of the show for all of us, where at the end of the show, we're going to do fan feedback. And so, obviously there's no feedback now because, this is our first show. But in the future, what I'm asking all of you to do is help me out. Give me tips, pointers, suggestions, and specifically, we'll try and ask some questions, and you can give us your feedback and comments on those questions, things like that. So anything that you have insight on the show, comments you want to share, you can email us at podcast@gameovervideogames.com. Or as we post it to YouTube and all of the different podcast engines and social media, you can comment there too, and we'll try and monitor all those and read and listen to all that those comments and feedback. So please help me by sharing your feedback and suggestions. What do you want to hear me talk about? What do you think would be a good feature for the show? What do you want to know about me personally or Game Over? Ask me anything. I'm happy to answer anything that I can. Topics, guests you'd like to see interviewed, anything like that. And then, like I said, guidance for me. I'm happy and appreciative of any feedback on, I don't know, how I sit, how I talk, your overall, thoughts on the show or me as the host, how is this working out? How do you think it's working out? And how can we get better? Because really that's, as with a lot of things in life, nobody's good when you start something. So I get that, but I hope to be better, and I hope to be a better, person in life. I hope to be a better podcaster on this show. But to do that, I need your help. So please feel free send suggestions my way. You can hit up the Game Over Video Games social media. We'll post it to all them too. The Facebook channel, Instagram, Twitter, all those sources for Game Over Video Games. So you can comment there. Comments overall on social media are the keys to the success. So I do ask that you don't just, watch the show. I hope you watch the show. I hope you like the show. But more so than that, we want you to comment, because that's how it all, the algorithms and everything work. And that's how, we can know and improve, the production of the show. But yeah, so please don't just watch the show or click like on the show, but actually give us a comment. Just say, hey, great job. Say, hey, it sucks. Say, whatever. But I'd rather have feedback than no feedback. So please help me out with that. You can do, if you want to reach the show directly, it's all through the Game Over channels, but you can hashtag Game Overcast on there if you want to specifically put something out in social media land that you want me to see for the podcast purposes. Or you can just email podcast@gameovervideogames.com. So that's the feedback. So thank you. We are always grateful for, all of our wonderful employees and fans and customers. And, we couldn't have done this without you. In the beginning, it was just me and a dream and a little store. And, the fact that we have multiple locations and, we have 52 employees now, it's grown beyond my wildest dreams. Right. And so it's been an amazing journey. And I know that, every step in that journey, is not taken alone by me. It's taken, as a group. It's taken with me, with our employees, past and present employees, even people that haven't worked here in 10 years, people like Dan that were, employee number 001 back in the day. He hasn't worked here in, 12 years or whatever. We still talk. He still helps me. He's still influential in Game Over Life and a building block that we've built on our success on. And then all of our customers, whether you come in our store one time and buy one thing and never come back, we hope that's not the case. But But anybody that buys anything ever from Game Over is supporting not just paying our bills, but supporting what we do. It's like you're saying we're doing okay, we're doing a good job. You want to see more. And so every time you do that and you vote with your wallet, you spend money where you love. And it's so important. And we've learned that over the past year too, with the COVID shutdowns. A lot of stores and restaurants that people really liked aren't around anymore. And because people didn't show them that love when they needed it most. And so we want to always be conscious of that. And we know that that Game Over, Classic Game Fest, everything that I do and love with retro gaming, it doesn't exist just because I do it or because I'm so awesome at my job or whatever. It's because you guys support me and you guys support the business. You support Classic Game Fest. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more thankful for that. So thank you. And thanks for listening to this show. I feel like it's been a little rambly and a little, awkward. But again, hopefully I'll get better and the show will be better. But I appreciate you making it to the end. So good job. Mission accomplished. Game over. We made it. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time on Game Overcast. You can visit gameovervideogames.com for information about the store or to shop online. Definitely hashtag Game Overcast or send an email to podcast@gameovervideogames.com if you want to reach out to me and let me know how I did. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. Game over.